Get unbeatable deals during our flash sales at the Junior Market.
This is Lagoon Radio.
Good morning. How are you? Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, Nigeria. You're welcome to your number one online gospel radio station powered by the Diocese of Lagos. This is Lagoonradio. Yes, and it's about time for the newspaper review. Of course, you can join us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram at Lagoon Radio NG, and on YouTube is LagoonTV. You can also tell your family and friends to listen via our website on www.lagoonradio.ng. My name is Taiwo Adiola Shabilebe, and with me in the studio is Semidele. Okay.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm good.
Well, we've got so many newspapers here, but in no particular order, we'll be starting with this day newspaper. MFLA. 15 trillion naira infrastructure company to take off third quarter, and the story you can continue reading on page 43 of the This Day newspaper. Public opinion prevails as Senate rejects Onochie's nomination. You can get the story on page 41 of This Day newspaper. And boldly written on the front page is Buhari reviews nation's state, says Nigerian lucky to remain one. And the writer to that says, urges politicians to respect people's rights to choose their leaders, vows to end insecurity. You can continue reading this story on page 43 of the This Day newspaper. Editors eulogize Oshoba Obaigbena for worthy service to media, page 5 of the This Day newspaper.
All right, moving on to Daily Trust. We can get boldly written on Daily Trust papers. National Assembly meets Buhari over insecurity others. And right under that, we must restore peace, says the president. And another rider, a meeting beyond dinner party, says Lawan. Reps represent 19-point demands, why Senate rejected Onochie as INEC commissioner. You can get all that on the inside of the Daily Trust papers, and right at the top of the Daily Trust papers, extortion along Apapa ports worth 100 million naira daily. Wow. Are you kidding me?
No?
Are you kidding me? Okay. You can get the full details on the inside of the Daily Trust papers as Senate approves 20-year jail term for ballot box snatchers. I wish this could just... I wish this could really be real. I wish it could really be real.
Yeah.
So that it could just serve as a lesson to a lot of people, a lot of ballot box snatchers and all. Then Kaduna, bandits kill 222, rape 20 women in 3 months. Official. And right at the bottom of the Daily Trust papers, woman, 4 kids killed in Zamfara airstrike. And we have how demolition displaced 103 Uni Abuja students at Ido. You can get out inside of Daily Trust as FG, federal government ends first phase of COVID-19 vaccination, and cautious excitement as Chinese firms flood auto industry. You can also get that on the inside of the Daily Trust papers.
All right, moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. NSAS, Oyo Judicial Panel treats 163 petitions on police abuses. And the writer to that says, begins deliberations on final report. Woman demands 10 million naira compensation for police brutality. Panel set to forward recommendations for remedial measures to Makinde. All this you get on page 4. I don't know. I almost missed my words because woman demands 10 million naira for compensation for police brutality. Can she get such?
It actually depends on how it depends on how she pulls through. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
Because okay, maybe she was arrested and brutalized.
Because if every one of us wants to be collecting money,
they have to pay for
get
damages.
Compensated for.
Yeah.
Then I think
if she
for her to come out, then it has really
even if it's not up to,
has been
10,
affected.
Yeah, even if it's not up to 10 million naira, at least they would have to pay for damages. She has the right.
she knows her right.
Yeah,
that's why she's demanding for.
Sure.
I wish her luck.
If I were to be in her shoes, I'll do the same.
I know. I know you. I know you too well, so I'm not surprised. You can get the story on page 4. Hard knocks for NAS. Federal government over proposed NBC amendment bills. You can get this on page 29. And the writer to that says, you can't gag media which defeated the military. Kokori has said, proposed amendment unacceptable. Arogun that day, we are suspending process for more constitution sponsors. Well, all these you get on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. Governors meet today on PIB, Legislative Judiciary Autonomy Executive Order 10. Page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. Senate moves to amend JAMB Act to peg UTME age limit to 16. I think when I was in 100 level, I had a classmate. She was exactly 16. So she finished at exactly 20 years old.
Yeah, it's possible.
So that means she took her JAMB while she was about 15, 16.
It's possible. I've seen someone that got into secondary school at age 8, finished at 14, wrote JAMB WAEC at 14, got admission at 15, finished at 19.
I wish they could just reduce the age because the rate at which children's education, I mean, it's very fast these days. Because
it depends.
The children these days are they're brilliant. They're quick to learn.
Yeah.
So if they can just bring it down to maybe 15. I'm not saying 14. Okay, let's just say 15.
The reason is that I actually subscribe to that because take for example when you get to the higher institution, strike here and there, where you're supposed to spend 4 years, you ended up spending 7, 8 years, some even 9 years. And by the time you finish serving, or maybe you couldn't go to serve again, you were given an exemption letter. And by the time you now start looking for a job, then there's this age limit. That's how they'll be saying 26 between years and below. At least
that thing. I think we had this conversation a very, very long time ago. How do you expect someone that just finished institution, she's 25 years, she just finished 7, and you're expecting her to have like 5 years experience? You're expecting her to have 2 years experience. Okay, has she been working while she was in school?
Ask me, if you ask me.
Well, back to JAMB. You can get this story also on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. Panic in Unilag as students in hostels contract COVID-19. Well, I read in the news today that they've not been staying in the university hostel. I think that's the best. I mean, to not complicate things for yourself. You can get the story on page 4. And boldly written on the front page, ballot box snatchers risk 20 years in jail. Well, Senate has said that. And you can get that on page 2. The writer to that says, passes bill to establish electoral offences commission. I think they need to start, like you said, you need to start taking action. People that are stealing ballot boxes. You need to put a stop to it. Air Force fighter jet kill 120 bandits in Zamfara forest. Hallelujah. If that's really a good news.
Yeah. Good
So
news.
you can get that on page 27. NDLEA arrests 7 drug kingpins in raids across 3 states. And the writer to that says, bust interstate cartels in Kogi, Nasarawa, Benue, recovers 843 kilogram skunk cocaine. of skunk and cocaine. You can get the story on page 27. 3 injured as fuel tanker rams into 13 vehicles in Ibadan.
Oh my God.
Such a disaster. You can get the story on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Alleged murder. Chidima must not die in police custody. Reps warn police. The writer that says, want media trial. Parade of suspects stopped. All these you get on page 2. What do you say to that?
Wow.
I was in the bus with someone yesterday. Okay, I was in the car with someone yesterday, and the person was like, imagine someone committed an offense. The person is a lawyer, and you are celebrating the person. You keep parading the person. The same thing we had, the same discussion we had here yesterday.
Like this, the story is kind of twisted, really, because the more you look, the less you see.
Okay.
It's a bit twisted because at first, she admitted to everything. She was paraded. The video was all over and all that, and out of the blues, you just came out and said you were forced to.
No. She was under pressure.
She was under pressure. She was forced to admit to the crime, and this murder is not. It's not a little crime. Let me put it that way. And after everything, you're not now saying. In fact, I don't know really, because I already said it that there's actually more to this story that it's beyond what we are really seeing.
Well, as the day goes by, we'll keep following and giving you updates.
Sure.
3 feared killed in clash between military men, suspected touts at Ladipo Market.
Wow.
What's happening there again? Oshodi. And the writer that says, we are not aware of incident. The police. You can get this on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. I'll use all necessary means to end insecurity. Buhari. Well, the president has come out to say, because I read also in the news this morning, insecurity is one of the major challenges we're facing in the nation, and he's ready to tackle it. He's ready to bring an end to it. I pray so. May God help you, Mr. President.
Amen.
And the writer to that says, Nigeria lucky to remain despite challenges. Because we have thick skin now.
Really, if you can survive in Nigeria,
you can survive anywhere. INEC post federal character principle knocks off Onochi. Senate confirms 5. You can get the story on page 3 of the Nigerian Tribune. And the writer to that says, a rejection victory for Nigerians' democracy, says PDP.
All right, and moving on to Daily Sun papers, Nigeria lucky to remain united despite challenges. Buhari, that's right at the top of the front page of the Daily Sun, and you can get the full details on page 7 of the Daily Sun. An anti-open grazing bill passes first reading in Delta Assembly. If you want to get that details, you can get that on page 26 of the Daily Sun. And INEC, Senate dams Buhari, rejects Onoche. And the writer on the DAT, PDP, Northern Youth, CTA, AL decision. You can get that on page 6 of the Daily Sun papers as well. Senate goes tough on electoral violence. I think that's a good news as well. Yeah, Senate goes to on electoral violence. You can get full details on page 6 of the Daily Sun papers as well. And on page 26 of the Daily Sun, Senate proposes minimum 18 years of age for UTME candidates. Wow. So that means if you're below 18 years, you can write JAMB. If you're below 18 years.
So you have to be 18 before you write JAMB.
Yeah, minimum 18 years of age.
That's what I was saying. If the child finishes education at 15, finish secondary school at 15, so she has to wait extra 3 years for her to write JAMB. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think they need to revisit
Personally,
that.
I finished secondary school at 15. I finished secondary school at 15, wrote my JAMB, everything, GC. In fact, all the examinations I was writing on. And I entered school, I think at 17. I didn't enter school immediately, really. I entered school at 17 because I wanted a particular course of study, and I was just rejecting all offers and all that. So I think, I don't know. If you want to get the details of that, you can get that on page 26 of
they really
the
need
Daily
to
Sun.
revisit that.
Yeah. As federal government launches Falcon Eye project to curb terrorism, piracy, oil theft, and others. You can get it on page 2 of the Daily Sun papers. Anti-media bills, sponsor surrenders, and the writer under that, kill the bills, PDP, Ohaneze, Afenifere, NUJ, NGE, others tell rep. You can get the full details on page 7 of the Daily Sun papers. And right at the bottom, we have the headline, Igbo stand by Kanu, Ohaneze insist. You can get the full details on page 27 of the Daily Sun papers as well.
All right, moving on to the Blueprint newspaper. Naira faces another obstacle. Naira faces another obstacle as travel agencies devalue exchange rates.
What we do?
Well, you can get the story on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. Nigeria leads mobile app market growth as gaming apps surge 44%. Again, you can get this on page 23 of the Blueprint newspaper. INEC, Senate throws out Buhari's nominee, Onochie. You can continue reading on the page 7. And the writer to that says, OK's 5 others as national commissioners. Rejection of presidential aid victory for democracy, says PDP. You can get this on page 7. Court war claims 10 in Asaba. You can get this on page 13 of the Blueprint newspaper. And boldly written on the front page, Buhari transmits 13.98 trillion naira 2022 budget estimate to NAS. And the rider under that says project 6.54 trillion naira revenue, up from 5.60 trillion naira in 2021. Proposes 5.62 trillion naira deficit, 2.62 trillion naira VAT. Senate set to pass MTEF/FSP on Thursday. All this you get on page 6 of the Blueprint newspaper. And at the bottom, despite our challenges, we are still
we're still standing. We are still
just
rocking.
as you said, if you can survive in Nigeria, you survive anywhere.
Yeah.
Despite our challenges, we are still a lucky country because we've developed a thick skin for it. Buhari has said. You can get this on page 8 of the Blueprint newspaper. After coordinated media campaign, sponsor suspends press bill. You can get this on page 5. Tribalism has caused serious damage in Nigeria. Oluwole. All this you get on page 7. Senate okays 20-year jail term for ballot snatchers. We await that. We need scapegoat. You can get this on page 6. 98% of 4 million Oxford/AstraZeneca vaccine utilized. NPH-CDA. You can get this on page 7 of the Blueprint newspaper.
And moving on to Nigerian pilot, boldly written, 20 years jail, ballot snatching. Senate backs electoral offenses commission. Okay, it's 20 years jail for ballot snatching. I think this is the 4th time we'll be saying this today. Can get it on page 8 of the Nigerian pilot as 10 million naira fine for fraudulent electoral officers, 10 years jail for selling voters' card. And another writer under that says bill imperative due to INEC's inability to prosecute electoral offenders according to law, as approves 10 years jail for election official who willfully prevents person from voting at polling station. I think the 10 million naira fine for fraudulent electoral officers. What about the 10 million naira or what about the fine for, should I say, aspirants that buy votes, that buy people's votes, or aspirants that give 1,000 naira or that gives 1 kg of rice for you to vote for them and all that? Shouldn't there be a particular should I say verdict for such aspirants? I think there should be as well.
There should be.
Because if you're only focusing on the masses and you're not focusing on the politicians themselves, then things are not going to change.
At all.
Because you should start from, you see, the thing is, if you have headache, all your body will pain you. As in, you won't even get your entire body.
Of course.
So that means if the head is faulty, the entire
the whole body is at fault.
faulty. So I think this should actually start from the head. It should start from the head. It's not compulsory you win the election. If you're not qualified to win, you don't need to buy your victory. Just let the sleeping dog glide. Let it just go that way. But the thing is, to me, politics in Nigeria has actually become a do or die affair.
Yes,
because
I don't know why it has to be violent all the time.
Yeah, because
it ends in violence.
You can see that a lot of people just want to go into politics not for the benefit of the masses, but for what they will get in their pockets, for the money. Okay, take for example, if a law is passed today that each senator's allowance, maybe wardrobe allowance, dog allowance, security allowance, sleeping allowance, riding allowance, talking allowance, whatever allowance, and even your basic salary should be limited to 1 million naira per month. Tell me. So I think this whole thing, I don't understand.
I still think
really.
they should pass that bill of, they should move the motion for 2 political parties in this country.
Yeah, I don't understand. Even with the 2 political parties.
Let's not know where our problems are coming from.
There is still the same set of people. But once you limit that money coming in, no, you're here to work. You're not just here to earn money. You go for a sitting, you sleep from the beginning till the end, and at the end of the day, your allowance will still come. It shouldn't be that way.
Go there, you sleep.
It shouldn't be that way. And those same people, they have their own they will have their own private companies. How would you feel if your employee is sleeping on duty? I don't understand. Will you say, you use hand and rub the head, carry, take your allowance or take your salary for the month? So I don't understand. Okay. Moving on Nigerian pilots, 700 million naira Desani Luth. We are still on it after all these years. EFCC rearraigns ex-governor Yero. Others, you can get it on page 11 of the Nigerian pilot as Nigeria loses $26.3 billion to piracy. Others annually, says Buhari. You can get it on page 5 of the Nigerian pilot.
All right, quickly, before we call it a wrap, leadership newspaper. Boldly written on the front page, new bill on bundles INEC, create electoral offences commission. You can get this on page 4. And right after that says, offenders face 50-year jail term, 30 million fine. Citing federal character, Senate rejects Onoche as commissioner nominee. It wins for Nigerian people. CSO says all this you can get on page 4 of the leadership newspaper. Federal government names 4 asset managers for 37 billion naira infrastructure fund. You can continue reading that on page 4 as well. 774 kidnapped, 222 killed in Kaduna in 3 months. Official has come out to say. You can get this on page, it's quite tiny, page 10 of the leadership newspaper. Senate's version of PIB will stifle investment, says oil marketers. You can get this on page 21 of the leadership newspaper. Ataga, Rev'd seek protection for Chidima in custody. You can get the story on page 6. Allow Nigerians to choose their leaders, PMB tells politicians. You can continue reading the story on page 7 of the leadership newspaper. And lastly, corruption, ban of development in Nigeria, says Fade. You can get this on page 6 of the leadership newspaper. And that's all we can take this morning. Time is fast spent, in as much as we couldn't take all. I'm sure you're able to get informed with all we've taken today. Thank you very much for being a part of the show. Tomorrow is going to be another edition of the newspaper review, same time, on the same station. Don't forget, this is Lagoon Radio, your number 1 online gospel radio station, powered by the Diocese of Lagos. You can follow us on Facebook at Lagoon Radio Nigeria, on Instagram and Twitter is at Lagoon Radio NG. For more news updates, you can log on to lagoon.news to check out for more news updates, and you can also tell your family and friends to listen via our website on www.lagoonradio.ng. Coming up right away is the Moment of Truth by the Venerable Henry Adilegon. Good morning once again. My name is Taiwo Adiola Shabiole.
My name is Olabisi Simidele. Okay.
Stay connected.
You are listening to Lagoon Radio.